Welcome back, my friends. I'm Matt. This is Big Food from a Tiny Kitchen, where today we see that big food does not mean big waste. We're looking at those end of the line vegetables, those tomatoes that never ripened on the vine, those peppers that have gotten a little bit wrinkly, onions that you never used all of, and maybe celery that's just gotten a little bit bendy. What do? Instead of tossing them, we're turning them into golden fritters. And just because we want to do something special, we're also going to make a bold, spicy chutney. I think you're going to love it. This is food rescue that tastes like big comfort. We've had our first frost, and we've had to pull all of our tomatoes in. Some of them will ripen sitting around with patience. Some of them, you're going to have a lot of patience. This is a recipe that really adapts to what you have. So first of all, let's get a couple of pieces of celery. You don't want to use rotten food. It's okay to be wilted. It's not okay to be discolored and slimy. So if you've got overripe tomatoes, you can use those. And again, don't use rotten vegetables. Just make sure that they're fresh enough. Trying to keep a clean workspace here. Little onion. This broccoli is just moderately wilty, but I don't know what I'm going to use it for otherwise. So, into the pot. If you saw my video on 3 ways to cook mushrooms, you'll know that they don't need to be perfectly white. Having a little bit of color to them like this is actually really good. They've got a lot more flavor that way. Don't use them if they're rotten. Don't use them if they're slimy. Okay, and then finally I've got some arugula that is at the end of its lifetime. So we're going to throw that in. They call it rocket in a lot of places. Why rocket? I mean, why arugula? That's a weird word also. Rocket. That's funny. We've used a lot of vegetables. This is where it's going to be a little bit challenging for us because I don't know how much flour, how much egg, how much milk it's all going to take. So we're going to find out together. It's somewhat going to be dependent upon how wet the ingredients are. So I know that I'm going to need at least, that's 3/4 cup of flour. Baking powder. I want to see about this. So this should be, I want to get about the 1/2 teaspoon, 3/4 teaspoon of salt. I'm going to say that this is about 1/2 teaspoon. Well, that is almost exactly 1/2 teaspoon. Now I'm going to add some spice. In this case, I'm adding a green curry blend. I want a little bit of zing, not a lot of zing, just a little bit of zing. I like the flavor of this one. Stirring fork. I know I'm going to need a little bit of milk. So now we just want to mix this all together, okay? Yeah, it's going to be more flour than I want, but it's going to be okay. This will just be a slightly more floury mix. I want to make sure everything is covered and coated, and it looks good. The egg and the milk is going to combine and bind everything. I can already tell that's too little. I'm not trying to get this to puff up that much. I just need it to combine. It feels like delicious. So you can see that there's still a lot of vegetables showing through the batter. If it's too liquidy, add more flour. If it's not liquidy enough, add more milk and eggs. I like the way this looks right now. Let's take it over to the stove. We'll start frying these up. So while we're heating the pan up, we're also going to start doing the chutney. And to start the chutney, I want to toast some spices. Cloves, black pepper, cardamom pods, and star anise in there. I'm going to put that in this pan and start toasting it until I hear the cloves pop. The higher the heat, the faster these will cook. And the faster they cook, the crispier that they're going to be. So I've got kind of a medium heat. In fact, I'm turning it down just a touch more. Swirl my spices. The spices are extremely aromatic now, so I want to get those off the heat. Oh, I wish you could smell that right now. It's so good. I just decided I want to toast up some chili flakes as well. I'm bold. I'm daring. And I'm putting in 2 cups combo of pineapple and mango. This is frozen. It's really ripe. It's really sweet. That's one of the things I love about frozen. Put the lid on that and cook. Now I'm looking at my stove and I'm going to say, it's clean enough for today. I apologize to all of you. This is what happens sometimes. If you've got a spice grinder, fantastic. Use it. I don't necessarily. But what I've done is I've taken out the cardamom pods, and for all of the other ingredients, I ground it up in a mortar and pestle. There's still some sticks in it, however, and I don't want the sticks in there. So I'm just running this through a sieve. Ding, ding, ding. Look at that. Those are the sticks. That is the delicious, delicious spice blend. Now I'm personally putting the cardamom pods in whole. I'm bold. I'm daring. Some people would even call me a jerk, but that's the way I do. First batch smells incredible. I like a lot of ginger, so I'm adding 2 tablespoons of ginger, fresh ginger, to the chutney. Turn that heat way down. Right now I was just letting it cook in its own juices because I'm going to add some liquid here in a second. I'm adding in the spice. I'm adding in 2 tablespoons of water. You know how you're writing a card and you start writing really big at the front of the card and you say, oh yeah, I got this. And then as you get towards the edge of the card, you're squeezing all the letters together because, oh no, I don't got this. Yeah, that's what I do inside of a pan all the time. So I've got one really big one and then I adjust accordingly after that. Kind of embarrassing. Okay. This is amazing. Again, if you could smell this, you would be dazzled. And now is the time that we add vinegar and sugar. That's about 2 tablespoons apple cider vinegar. And I'm matching it 1 for 1 with sugar. So in this case, that is 2 tablespoons of sugar. You can also add dried fruits into this. In this case, I'm adding in raisins. And so that's about 1/4 cup. Let it cook. Okay, we check our progress. It's softening up just fabulously well. You can do this with apples, pears, peaches, really whatever's in season. You can do this with sweet vegetables like squash, or I've seen it with sweet onions, sweet potatoes. That just needs to cook down more. So what we want to get is something that's a little bit more like a jam, a thicker jam, or a butter, like an apple butter or something. So I'm just going to let that cook down some more. I can't believe those flavors. Sometimes I impress myself immensely. So I want you to see that we can also just do this as one big pan full as well. There is nothing wrong with that. But look at that chutney. That is thickened up quite a bit, but there's still good chunks to it. There's texture. The aroma is unbelievable. Before we taste, if you found this recipe useful, using the rest of what you've got in the kitchen before you throw it out, give me a like down below. If not, that's okay. Maybe next time. If you really enjoyed what you see though, go ahead and give me a follow so you never miss another delicious episode. I don't know what you do with your algorithm, but trust me, I'm doing you a favor. Behold the glory. This fritter is to die for. The spice is really coming through, but it's a gentle spice. But we made an amazing chutney here. And I can't wait. I still have all the crispiness of the vegetables just the way I like it. I can taste all of the flavors, but this just adds a sublime beauty to it. Give it a try. If you don't like this kind of spice, you can add other things. You can make it more like nachos and add a southwestern spice to it. Put salsa on or even cheese. This would be great. Add Greek spices, add tzatziki. You can add a lot of different flavors. Customize it to what you enjoy. Give me a comment down below what you like, and we're going to see you next time. Thanks a lot. Have a good night.